back to my channel. We're gonna do something a little bit different today. We are gonna be reading my Twitter drafts. Now, I've seen a lot of my favorite YouTubers over the years, like, posting all of their drafts by the end of the year. These have been culminating for a long time because I usually will have thoughts, I will forget about them, I'll leave them in the drafts, and then I just, like, never come back to it because I'm very much an out of sight, out of mind person. But this is an interesting occasion because I don't use Twitter anymore. As of a couple weeks ago, this is not an app that I use anymore, so I just figured as its final send-off, I was going to read to you guys the drafts that never got posted. And maybe if any of them are bangers, I will post them on Threads. Full disclosure, some of these are things that, like, I didn't post because I thought that they were too, like, bold. So just keep that in mind. This is definitely a look inside my brain that I never thought that I would put on the internet. So, buckle up, buttercup. Starting off real strong with, like, the very first one that I had in there. Instagram accounts with no profile pics, generated usernames, no followers, and no name in the name box really will say the most vile shit. Side note, I just learned the word in Spanish. Yeah, so I had gotten a DM, and it was all in Spanish, and there was one word that I didn't recognize, and I took it to Google Translate, and I was like, oh. But because Google Translate isn't always the most reliable, I reached out to one of my friends who speaks Spanish fluently, and I said, did this guy just say what I think he said? And all she wrote back was, oh god, ew. So, thank you, Maria, for that confirmation. Oops. Personally, I think that jokes about farts are way funnier than jokes about domestic abuse, but that's just me. I didn't wish to make waves on this topic, so I ended up leaving this one in the drafts. I had a lot of friends that really did like this comedian, and I didn't want to have any arguments about it, so I just left it in there. But, like, I just don't find jokes about abuse to be particularly funny. I don't know, I've had a lot of friends that have been in really bad situations before. I've been in an emotionally abusive relationship. I'm not gonna try to say that I know what it's like to be in a domestically abusive relationship because I haven't, and I'm not trying to be the authority on that, but just as somebody who has dealt with a form of abuse before, not it. This one was a reply to another tweet. The initial tweet said, quote with anything from your notes, and I had a retweet in progress that said, I have no clue what this was supposed to mean, but I'm curious if someone says this out loud if I'll become the winter soldier. The note in question was from November 20th, 2019 at 7:02 p.m. I don't remember the context of this note whatsoever, but the note just said, Panic, Danny DeVito, Dab, Narwhal, Lingerie, Ukulele, Fursona, VeggieTales, Portal, Emo, Scene, Goth, Hot Topic. Well, I'm not the winter soldier, so maybe someone else has to recite it, I don't know. There was another reply to the same tweet in my drafts that says, we are put on this earth to yell and party. Hell yeah, we are. I do know the context of this one, though. We are put on this earth to yell and party. I was playing Jackbox with some friends, and the prompt was, what are we put on this earth for? And I wrote, to yell and party. And my friends liked that a lot. And I always wanted to, like, learn how to embroider, like, one of those pillows and make it say, yell, party, like, live, laugh, love. So yeah, that's why that one's in my notes. I remember that context. Whereas the Panic, Danny DeVito, Dab, Narwhal, Lingerie, Ukulele, Persona, VeggieTales, Portal, Emo, Scene, Goth, Hot Topic. No recollection. None whatsoever. Next we have, I just got an ad for a matchmaking service that starts at 4K, and frankly, as nice as it would be to find my perfect match, have you seen how expensive groceries are now? Still single, and I still stand by the fact that groceries are way too expensive. Feeling. Something tells me that I forgot to finish this one and then forgot what I was saying and then thought feeling was funny and left it alone. How crazy would it be if humans created pearls instead of tonsil stones? Why didn't I post that one? That one's good. That one's going on Threads for sure. That one's funny. I think I thought about posting that one and I flew it by somebody who didn't know what a tonsil stone was, and then they Googled it and they said that's disgusting. And I didn't want people to think I was gross, so I didn't post it. But we're past the fart joke bit, so I guess if you didn't know that I was disgusting, that's on you. I talked to my dad about the Shortney wedding yesterday and called him today with an update. His response, I don't know who these people are, congrats to them, or sorry he's off the market. He's real for that. So just for some background for people who don't watch Smosh, Shane and Courtney are two comedians on the Smosh channel, and they announced on April 1st that they got married. And we weren't 100% certain if it was real or a joke. And then the more that they tried to claim that it was real, the more it felt like a prank. But then the more they played into the prank side of it, the more it felt like it was real. I couldn't tell if it was a joke or not, and that actually made me very distressed. And because I was genuinely trying to figure it out. I could not figure it out for the life of me. Because I was like, I don't want to comment congratulations and be not that they know who I am, but I didn't want to comment congratulations if it was fake, because then I would have looked like an idiot. But I didn't want to say like, haha, nice one, in case it was real, because then I also would have looked like an idiot. And again, they don't know who I am, but like, I like to celebrate people. And this was the first time in my life where I was like, I can't tell if this is a joke or not. I called my dad about it. I was so distressed, I called my dad. Shane and Courtney, if for some reason you end up watching this, you made me call my dad. I love my dad. I was gonna call my dad regardless, but like, that was how into this I was. Also, maybe it's worth mentioning that Shane Top is like textbook my type. So I think that some people were reading into this as me being jealous. Not the case. I'm actually so delighted that the wedding was real. They are unbelievably cute together. And I think it's iconic that they announced it on April 1st. They got married in March. They just announced it on April 1st. And I think that that's iconic behavior. And I'm excited for them. This one's also about the Shortney wedding. I'm not kidding when I say that more friends and colleagues reached out to me regarding Shane and Courtney's wedding than friends and colleagues reached out to me on my birthday back in October. Really giving me a lot to think about, TBH. Okay, so also a bit of context here. The October before this that I mentioned, my birthday before this one, that was when I turned 25. And my 25th birthday was hot garbage. And part of the reason I was upset is because a lot of my friends who I'd known for a long time just like didn't reach out. Now I understand like that dates and birthdays and stuff like that, they're not important to everybody. They're important to me. I really care about the dates of things and their significance. So when people didn't reach out to me on my birthday, like I took it really hard. I know it's not the end of the world for a lot of people. For me, it was really upsetting. But then when my friends who didn't reach out on my birthday texted me about Shane and Courtney's wedding, who again, none of us know personally, I was like, this is what happens when your whole friend group has ADHD and time blindness, and that's okay. It happens to the best of us. Anyway, moving on. Had an epiphany that men are like gluten, but it really only makes sense if you're a formal emotional abuse victim with a gluten allergy. Twitter did not have the character limit for me to elaborate on that one, and I realized it really didn't make a lot of sense if you didn't have a gluten allergy, so. Anyway, the epiphany in question was like, when you have a gluten allergy and you eat bread, it hurts you. But then everybody around you is like, no, it's just bread. Bread is great. We love bread. Bread is beautiful. Bread is life. And then you're just kind of sitting there like, bread kind of hurts me, but I will endure this to make everybody else happy. And then eventually you finally realize it and you cut out bread and you feel so much better, so much lighter. Then like, you know, you decide that you want to try bread again and you know that it can't be the same. So you keep searching for things that look like bread and kind of taste like bread, and all the while it still gives you anxiety because it looks and tastes just like it. And then sometimes you get one where you're like, dang, this is really good, and they're like, yeah, it's real bread. And I guess that's sort of I guess cross-contamination is sort of like PTSD in a way. That's sort of where that one ended. I don't really know how to make it end happy. Maybe it's finding a really good recipe that looks and tastes like bread and doesn't hurt you and treats you right. Breaking Bad? Nah, down bad. Fair Jesse Pinkman. I didn't post that one for pretty obvious reasons, actually. How many pickles are too many pickles? Asking for a friend. And then there was a follow-up tweet. That friend ate probably like 7 gherkins and 3 dill spears, doesn't regret it, could go for more, but is scared there's a limit to how many pickles someone should eat. In case y'all are worried about that friend, she's fine. She's still eating a ton of pickles. I want what Professor X and Magneto have going on. Y'all, I'm back in my X-Men phase real hardcore, so you're gonna be seeing a lot of that, and I'm actually, you know what? I'm not going to apologize for it. If you have a problem with the X-Men, you can leave. There are 3 ways in which I'd like to be proposed to. 1. Disney World in front of the castle. 2. One of those floating lantern events. 3. Strolling along the beach in bright yellow flight suits. Our future maid of honor and best man are painted blue. Yeah, once again, still kind of deep in the X-Men situation here. It's brutal out here. Actually, that one would suck because they like low-key got divorced on the beach. The first two, if I say they're real, can y'all just like not be weird about it? Disney World in front of the castle, as cliche as it is, that's been a dream spot for me since I was a little girl because my family used to go to Disney World every single year as our family trip. So Disney World already has so many fond memories associated with it that I would just be so delighted that somebody listened to me enough to be like, I want to create more really beautiful memories here with you. If it's Disney World, I don't care if it's Disneyland, I don't care which Disney World or Disneyland it is, it could be anywhere in the world. Oh my god, imagine it's like we go on a tour of all the Disneylands around the world together and it's like our last one and it's our last castle and the fireworks are going and we're like, we did it, we've been to all the Disneylands, and you get down on one knee and it's our last castle and you do, and we're gonna make more memories together in my favorite spot, and then maybe one day we'll have kids and we'll take the kids to Disneyland and it's just gonna keep going. Ah, the dream, oh my god. The Floating Lantern is a direct connection to Tangled, which is my all-time favorite movie. It holds so much significance to me and it changes so much over time. If somebody were to take me to a Floating Lantern event and propose to me there, it would be just like Tangled and I would be over the moon over it. So the beach, no. The other two I stand by, but that tweet was purely meant to be funny. Although, again, negative omen because Charles and Eric definitely got divorced in Cuba on the beach during the Cuban Missile Crisis that the mutants were somehow involved in. Guys, I just rewatched X-Men First Class and I'm actually having so many questions about it. Anyway, those are my Twitter drafts. That was a proper send-off for my Twitter account, and I'm glad that we got to share those together. So thanks so much for joining me. If you want to hear more thoughts like that, follow me on Threads. I'm at ZoeRebecca_, same as my Instagram. That is all for today, and I will see you next time. Bye!